So this is going to be a response to a recent video Chandler Wilson did. And for you guys who don't know who she is, she's a pretty popular transgender. In fact, I think she has like 300,000 subscribers or something like that, which is a little insane. But I haven't responded to her yet just because I found her videos kind of really boring. And, you know, there were plenty of points I could refute, but just, like, it was just boring to respond to that video. But I found a video that she recently made that caught my eye. So she recently got engaged to a trans guy who... like, he transitioned, but now he identifies as gender flux, according to another video that she did. And the reason he identifies as gender flux because he feels uncomfortable people perceiving him as a man. He said, like, oh, there's a problem with me being perceived as a cis man. What? That's the whole point of transitioning. But no, all those evil straight white cis men they're just evil. They're just, like, you can't be perceived as one. So now he identifies as gender flux because apparently he feels like 70% boy and 30% no gender sometimes. Then it switches around. It's confusing. Like, I think she's brainwashed this guy because he's legitimately trans. And then Chandler is just a girl who identifies as agender, and the only transitioning, quote-unquote, that she's done is change her name, which, I mean, makes sense because you can't really transition a non-binary. They're gonna talk about, quote-unquote, trans body positivity, and, the whole point of being trans is that you don't exactly feel positive about your body, but let's just get into the video. Look, I do feel happy for these guys that they're a couple, but it just sucks that this trans guy has to basically suppress his own masculinity and his own being a man just to appease this girl and to not be one of the evil straight white cis men.
Hello everyone, Chandler here, and today I am joined with
Xander.
And this is my fiance, and this person is also kind of the reason why I decided to make this video for you all, is because something that I've noticed is that you get down on yourself a lot when you're scrolling on Instagram and the only other trans guys you see are like extremely masculine and extremely muscular.
Well, maybe that's a thing for other trans guys to aspire to. And what does this even have to do with being trans? It kind of doesn't. It really doesn't, because if you think about it, you know, plenty of non-trans men go on the internet and they find tons of pictures of guys who are really muscular. Plenty of girls go on the internet and they find plenty of pictures of girls who are skinny and have big boobs or whatever. You know, like, everybody has to deal with those insecurities due to looking at kind of like the ideal body type, quote unquote, and then getting self-conscious because they don't fit that body type. Like, that's something everybody deals with. And, like, I get that it might be hard for trans guys, especially because they have dysphoria, but still, basically what they're whining about is seeing pictures of good-looking trans guys on the internet and then being like, my insecurities, I just feel so insecure, oh my god, there's somebody more muscular than I am. Like, if you feel insecure because someone is more muscular than you are, then how about you work out? I'm sorry. This just frustrates me. Because they're whining about something so petty. And, like, you can change that, dude. You can start lifting weights, bro.
And you've made quite a lot of comments about feeling like there's no representation for your body type.
Yes.
And feeling like there's not real diverse body positivity.
Well, what about the whole fat acceptance movement? Did you guys just forget about that? There's a whole fat acceptance movement for really, really, really fat people. Just something to think about. Also, do you really want... Like, it'd be fine if there were representation of more body types. Sure, I wouldn't have a huge issue with that. But do you really want to see some fat, hairy dude on the internet and that being shown as, like, the epitome of attractiveness? Like, do you really want that, man? Come on.
Especially in the trans community, because even though body positivity is like a problem in general, it's like trans people are held to like the next level standard of like, if trans guys aren't extremely overly masculine, then are they really guys? Or if trans girls aren't extremely feminine, then are they really girls? Or
who thinks like that? I mean, there are some cases of people looking at trans guys who aren't hypermasculine, or especially, there used to be something in the medical establishment, luckily it doesn't happen anymore, but if a trans guy was gay, he would be denied bottom surgery. I'm not so sure about trans girls, but I think probably would be similar. So there was actually some discrimination based on sexual orientation, or maybe even based on masculinity or femininity towards trans people in terms of medically transitioning. But now that doesn't happen anymore. I've never heard of a case where somebody's been denied because of their sexual orientation or because they're too masculine or too feminine, of a trans person being denied medical help. I think the criticism that she's really talking about is like transgenders, like her, obviously, because she claims to be trans. When people look at somebody claiming to be a trans guy, or claiming to be trans in some obscure way, and then they act just like a girl, they act just like a guy, people don't really believe them, because they act so masculine or so feminine, and they're making no effort to transition. That's really the difference there. So I don't think she's really talking about actual trans guys and actual trans girls being questioned. I think she's talking about transgenders being questioned as to whether they're really trans.
If non-binary people aren't androgynous like 50-50, 100% of the time, are they really non-binary?
No one thinks like that. Like, there isn't even evidence for non-binary yet, and I am open to the idea that there could be evidence for it. But, you do nothing to look like a androgynous, quote-unquote, Chandler. Like, you just look like a girl, you honestly do. Having short hair doesn't make you a guy or quote-unquote non-binary. Binding your chest so that you can feel trans and special doesn't make you non-binary. Look, I've honestly, and maybe there are some people who claim to be non-binary and have genuine dysphoria. I have heard of rare cases of that. But the majority of people who I've personally met or seen online who identify as non-binary just bind their chest as kind of proof that they're non-binary. They don't actually feel dysphoria about their breasts. But I'm kind of rambling. The point is, Chandler, you look like a girl. You kind of do look like, coincidentally, you look like Asa Butterfield, the actor who's like in literally every movie that requires like a teenage kid, like honestly. You do look like him, like a little bit, but otherwise you just look like a girl.
And so I thought it would be really important for us to talk about some body positivity tips. So what is something that makes you feel better? What's body
Showers. Actually, that's pretty contradictory because, you're, with your body in the shower. But
exactly, that makes no sense. Like, honestly, for me personally, and for a lot of trans guys who've spoken to me online, who I've known in person, they feel really dysphoric getting in the shower. Like, I can't stand to look at myself in the shower because you're naked and you're reminded of all of your female body parts. How does that make sense? I guess he's gonna explain it, so I'll just continue on with the video.
But, I'm a very, temperature based kind of person. I like
so
really,
the warmth of blankets,
yeah.
The warmth of a fireplace kind of makes you feel better.
When I get really down on myself, I usually try to get myself out of my head by doing something productive. I'll take long drives in the car with the windows down and I'll blast the music, or I'll drink something really, 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 really cold.
So you give yourself brain freeze, essentially? How does that make the situation any better? I guess maybe this is part of the SJW brainwashing. You just drink something really cold and get brain freeze while some SJW speaks some talking points to you. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Or I just, try to hang out with people.
So what does body positivity mean to you?
Loving and accepting your body. Loving and accepting your body regardless of, who you... it's just accepting yourself as yourself, no matter what.
Well, that's the thing. Trans people cannot be okay with that. That is why they transition. Basically what he's implying here is that you just should accept your body and be fine with it. I'm not saying that he's saying that trans people shouldn't transition. Obviously, he's transitioned. But, he knows. He knows what dysphoria is. He knows what not feeling okay with your body is. I don't get why he's trying to conflate that and make it seem like, oh, you're just okay with your body. Just be okay with your body. He's basically implying that people shouldn't really have to transition.
And being okay with it. I feel like I can't be okay with myself in this world because all of the body positivity that I see are mainly based around feminine people.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's okay to have a butt and, hips and,
But you never see the posts for guys that have curves.
Alright, they are making a valid point there in terms of the whole body positive movement and the fat acceptance movement and whatnot. It is mostly directed towards women. I think the body positive movement has kind of been taken over by SJW rhetoric. But, in theory, it would totally be okay, and it could definitely be applied to guys. So I do kind of agree with Chandler and Xander there.
There are a few, underwear manufacturers have been doing it a lot more. But, like, all of the posts that I see about trans guys, or, like, the trans guys that get attention in the media for being attractive, or, like, being
Like,
fit.
conventionally attractive because they're fit and muscular.
And what's wrong with that? Like, that's not just for trans guys, that's for literally everyone. And it is kind of unfair, I would agree. But that's just the way it works. Like, what do you expect them to do? Do you expect for them to have some land whale with trans guy and to hail him as attractive? No. Like, what do you expect? What do you want? Like, you're not getting anywhere with this. And the thing is that what I've noticed with both of them is that they are blaming society for their insecurities. They are not blaming themselves. They are not realizing that it's a problem that exists within themselves and that maybe it's a problem that they can get help for. No, it's all society. Society needs to change for them. You know, it's not like they need to look within themselves and maybe if it's really bad, go to therapy or something and change something within themselves. No, it has to be society. And that's the thing that really, really annoys me. It's all society's fault. You know, it's not actually being dysphoric about your body or having some other insecurity with your body. And everybody pretty much has some insecurity with their body. That's not just dysphoria.
And,
But
like,
we don't all look like that. When not every single trans person looks the same or has the same body type.
we're not meant to look the same.
Alright, they kind of get repetitive throughout a lot of the videos, so I'm just going to skip around a little bit.
Body positivity to me is not everybody is the same, and yet every single body is beautiful no matter how it looks.
Yeah.
And that there's no one way to have a body. Every single body deserves to feel beautiful. Feeling beautiful yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So feeling beautiful, like, no matter what you look like in the past, knowing that your body type from the past is beautiful, your body type now is beautiful, and your body type in the future will be beautiful. Like, for trans people, like, if maybe you get a, like, top surgery or something in the future, like, you're beautiful in every stage of your life. And every way, shape, and form that your body has ever been is beautiful.
Yeah.
Without further ado, here are some clips of what body positivity means to you all.
So now they're featuring a lot of quote-unquote trans people who are mostly special snowflakes who just look like Tumblrinas, and they're gonna have them talk about quote-unquote body positivity. It gets kind of boring, to be honest, so I'm just kind of gonna skip around. We're gonna see a few of them and then wrap up the video.
When it comes to body positivity,
Oh god, oh no, it's Riley. I should have expected this, it's Riley, of course.
I have a lot of privilege because I'm thin and I'm white, which is what a lot of the media tells us is like the ideal body type.
Yes, thin privilege. Oh yeah, you're so privileged for being skinny, dude. Just like, do you get like a thin privilege check in the mail? He said he's white. Well, guess what, dude? You're also a cis straight male. So you're basically the most privileged there could possibly be. Just accept that, dude.
But at least when it comes to gender stuff, I run into a lot more problems because I am a trans girl, but I'm also very tall and have broad shoulders, so I don't really fit people's perception of what they think a girl should be.
How? What? How is that the perception of what a girl should be? No, that's what a female body looks like, and you have a male body. So obviously you don't look like a female. It's not what society perceives to be women. No, it's what what the female sex actually is. And if you're supposed to be a trans woman, you would try to pass as the female sex. But of course, you're not a trans woman, so you're not trying to pass. You're not making an effort. You're having that huge Adam's apple hanging out.
And on top of that, I don't dress like super feminine all the time. Like, I'm not constantly wearing a full face of makeup and nail polish.
Yeah, and you have no excuse for the way you dress, actually, because you said in other videos, like, oh, I would want to wear a skirt or a dress, but I'm too shy to do that in public. Okay, well, if you don't want to do that in public, how would you do that in private? Because you're wearing, like, gender-neutral clothing, you just look like a guy with long hair and makeup, because that's what you are. You're not trans, Riley.
Like, I think cis people are given the leeway to be able to dress and express themselves however they want, but trans people have to, like, perform the gender that they say they are.
Yeah, because they are that gender. They have to act like it because that's what they are.
I think body positivity is a very important thing, but especially for trans people, since there's a lot of different trans people and we already struggle with body dysphoria a lot.
Exactly, because that's the whole point of being trans. So how can you have body positivity? I don't get it. I don't get it. Basically just dismissing actual body dysphoria, because like a lot of these people, if not all of them, are just special snowflakes who don't have dysphoria, who just pretend to. So of course they want body positivity because they feel okay with their bodies. But actual trans people don't.
I think that makes it very important to show that there's no one correct way to be trans and that there's no one specific way to look when you are trans.
People say, oh, there's not one correct way to be trans. They use that as an excuse to justify them claiming to be trans, because they claim that pretty much anybody can be trans, and that anybody can completely present as a girl like this girl is, and still be considered some form of trans because they don't conform to gender roles or whatever. It's so infuriating, because they're basically trying to find a way to sneak into the trans community by using all kinds of mental gymnastics to justify it.
Body positivity is thinking of yourself in the stardust you're made from.
Well, okay then. That was kind of weird and sort of hippie-ish, but fine, whatever, Tumblrite.
Body positive means loving.
What is going on here with this person? Are they like an otherkin? What? I can't. What? What? Just say what? Like, first of all, the dog mask and ears, it's so cringy, like, oh, and then he/she/they, what? Can you just pick one? I can't with this person. This is like a dogkin. This is like something that comes straight out of Tumblr. It's pure concentrated Tumblr. I'm sorry. I can't even pay attention to what this person is saying. It's just, oh my god.
Yourself and the people around you.
Oh, what is with the tongue going in and out? Okay, now I understand this must just be like a computer thing and not what they're actually wearing, which actually kind of gives me some relief, but still, that's so weird.
And supporting each other.
I found it really, really difficult to accept my gender and even to understand what I was.
What is this person? What? I can't. I can't. This is another he, she, they. Like, can you pick one, honestly? You gotta, I gotta encompass all the pronouns. Yay! You could just stop being so irritating, pick one. And dude, you honestly look like Voldemort on acid. Like, if somebody took acid and looked at Voldemort. Like, what the heck? What is wrong with you? This is just screaming for attention. Clearly this person, he's just screaming for attention. He just wants just as much attention as he can. Oh my god.
Because for me, I had this interpretation in my mind that you had to be sort of androgynous looking to at least be a non-binary gender, which is completely preposterous because you don't have to be. So when I first came out as gender fluid, I was purposely making myself look androgynous. I was purposely wearing more makeup. I was purposely wearing more girls' clothing.
So that just makes you a feminine man. Like, what's the big deal?
Because I felt like I had to fit in. That was what the community kind of made me feel, just because of the way that I am born.
No, but you weren't born, quote-unquote, gender fluid. Don't pretend that you were.
Like, I cannot help my face. I cannot help the way that I look. But that being said, I am very happy with the body that I have been given.
Well, if you're very grateful and happy with your body, you're not trans. I'm sorry.
But just in my head, I don't identify as the male gender, regardless of what my outer shell might be. Just because I look this way doesn't mean I have to identify that way.
I think that...
Oh no. It's Milo and Snow. It's Milo, or now Quimby, I guess her name is, or whatever. Whatever, I don't know what's going on anymore. It's terrible. My god. This is perfect. Like, it's basically, so far, all been Tumblrites. There's not a legit trans person anywhere in there.
It's pretty obvious when I go out and do things in the real world that people perceive me as a cis man.
And that's bad for some reason. Like, why are these people so obsessed with people perceiving them as one of the evil cis men? Guess what? If you didn't keep saying that cis men were evil, cis men wouldn't be evil, because they're people. They're not any more prone to be evil than anybody else.
Just because I have, facial hair and a deepish voice, that makes me really uncomfortable. So I think the part where that connects with body positivity is...
Look at Milo. I don't think she even understands what he's saying. Or Quimby.
Just reminding myself that things like my facial hair and my voice and my shoulders and stuff like that aren't inherently, like, gendered.
What are you talking about? Of course they are. Of course they are. They're male secondary sex characteristics. I don't get what you're saying.
Like, there's no reason why that stuff makes me, you know, like, a man or whatever, you know.
Just because, like, my curves make me dysphoric doesn't mean that they're, like, ugly or anything.
What? Then why are you dysphoric about them? This makes no sense.
And that I shouldn't be mean to my hips because they can't help their shape.
Body positivity, and within that body diversity within the trans community, is very important.
This person is the only one that goes by normal pronouns from what I've seen. This person goes by he, him pronouns. So maybe this person's a trans guy. I don't know.
Being trans is a very diverse experience among many, many different kinds of people all over the world.
Well, that is partially true. Trans people are kind of a diverse demographic because it's a medical condition. Like with any medical condition, there are all sorts of different people who fit in there. But I think that's not what this person is trying to communicate. They're trying to communicate that there can be all kinds of different genders that you can be trans with, but no, you can only be female to male or male to female because you're transitioning between the two genders. That's it.
And we shouldn't be expected to look one way or another to fit into some kind of box or category.
Yeah, but you should be transitioning and trying to look the part. Also, I just realized this, and maybe this is kind of mean, but this person shaves their eyebrows. Why do you shave your eyebrows, bruh? Is it more to look special? I don't know.
As a trans man, I've noticed there's lots and lots of pressure put on me to be muscular and to fit the masculine cis stereotype.
No, a lot of that pressure comes from the trans guys themselves. For example, I feel a lot of pressure from within myself to look more muscular because I want to look more masculine. Not because of anything, because of society, I just want to look more masculine. Like, I think these people conflate their own insecurities with, oh, it's just the evil society.
And many times when I didn't fit this stereotype or expressed that I didn't want to fit this stereotype, my gender identity was invalidated. But regardless of your body type, how you look, how you want to look, and the choices you do or don't make, your gender identity is valid. I am unmuscular, I'm very small, and I also have a little bit of a tummy. Doesn't invalidate me as a trans guy.
Yeah, anyway, what does this have to do with anything? Pretty much everybody doesn't exactly have the perfect body type. Your gender identity is valid. What if it's like, let's say, what if your gender identity is a wormhole? Is that valid too? Your body is beautiful. Okay, why do people transition then? I don't get this. They're basically encouraging trans people not to transition, is what I've gathered from this video. Of course, they had to put a bunch of trite sayings in there and just throw this whole virtue signal. Like, oh my god, you're beautiful no matter what. You're confident, you're brave, you're strong. Just like, that makes it so disingenuous. Like, that doesn't feel like genuine body positivity. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.